Welcome back to Aether Eternius, Dark Side of the Foundry. Last time, the group had a little bit of a sort of break inside of a bar in the underbelly of water. They had a chance to talk to the barkeep. Flix had a chance to make some connections as well, earn a little bit of coin to his name, and in general, the group came up with some form of game plan, whichever that may be. As they begin to leave, they were suddenly assaulted from several angles by the False Hydra. It knows they're coming and is trying to stop them. After some quick thinking, use of the box, and some very peculiar magic from their sorcerer friend, they were able to fend off one of the attacks. But they began to explore the southern reaches of the sewers, eventually coming across a storage room and a couple of rowdy water snakes, nothing too crazy. But as they began to head further south and cross a couple planks, they ran into a very big snake in the form of a sea serpent, which they dispatched incredibly quickly.
Oh, sorry.
We're here now with the group after a short rest. They've taken time to dissect the corpse and gather their bearings. I will now read you guys the loot list of what you have acquired from your short rest in dissecting the serpent. I'll be posting the whole list in the OOC chat for you guys to look over. You have gained 20 worn sea serpent scales, 5 pristine sea serpent scales, 16 sea serpent bones, 7 feet of undamaged sea serpent skin, 10 pounds of sea serpent meat, tattered human remains, at least you think they're human, a pile of half-digested fish, to be expected. You found a strange, tiny gold crown, 142 blue chips, 20 miscellaneous golden coins, a worn bag of gemstones containing 1 diamond worth 500 gold and 5 emeralds worth 50 gold each, a pair of worn leather-looking bracers, a jade lyre, and a small pitch-black cube. You don't know the enchantments of the other 3 items, but you do know they're magical.
Oh.
I'll go ahead and pin that message. And now we leave you guys off where you were. You were preparing to head down into the depths of the sewers. Pride is currently standing watch at the entrance to the further lower depths. What do you plan to do now?
Well, I believe Freya was going to, was actually drawing attention last to the current loot list.
Mm-hmm.
And I think everyone was curious what was coming out of it.
Yep.
And instead of me rereading literally everything you just said, I'll just say Freya mentions most of it. Not everything, but most of it.
Mm-hmm.
Various is going to ask if maybe they could have at least a little bit of the hide, but
well, of course, we should probably, if you don't think I will make it through this, you could put it in your own pack, but for now, I think we should just pocket everything we can and move on. You can deal with everything later.
I'm not carrying all this. I'm not carrying any of that, especially not that stuff.
Well then, if anyone else wants to potentially carry anything we could use for barter, I'm going to be stuffing
Rose
as much
is
as I can.
I vote Rose. Rose should carry it, because Rose has muscles. Go, Rose, go.
What?
I second this.
But I
The
believe
rest of us are weak and feeble and a lady, so it's all on you, Rose. You got this.
I believe Various might have something to help with the situation.
Various
If he wants to bring it out.
Well, it's got a small. It's The jewelry box only has a small opening.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Most of these things, don't forget, you also have a few things you can identify on you.
After a moment, various sighs, I can deal with some of it. At least this things of a certain circumference.
But you're weak and feeble.
I am not weak and feeble.
Yes, you are. You're a tiny bunny.
Flicks, please, let's at least hear this out.
I am not a bunny.
Population. The word is population. I know it's hard for your tiny fey brain.
Gardanian. You hear
Bunny.
shout over at Tibbs.
And during this
Point
whole
is, you're
time,
tiny and you're a caster, which means you have no muscles, which is everything I've learned about casters. They've got no muscles.
and poor Pride's kind of watching this whole exchange, just occasionally looking at Flix, who seems to be shouting around a wall. This is
Okay,
here.
okay.
Let's just get this sorted with. What do you have, Various?
Marius slowly pulls out a little box, and opens it up. It seems to be a jewelry box, and holds a hand out for something.
You will hand probably the 5 pristine serpent scales, thinking it's an ordinary jewelry box,
He
and it won't hold much more.
he slides those in, holds out his paw for more.
She hands over 10 of the worn ones.
Let's
Pops
have.
those in.
Sorry, quick question to the DM though. Do any of these scales or parts that Freeze has harvested from the serpent look translucent?
Probably the diamond.
Alpha?
Oh, did you catch my question?
Highest was
Sorry, I'm being pestered. Hold on. Now, what did you ask?
I was asking you, are any of the does any of the serpent scales or any parts from the serpent's body that Free has harvested, or do they look translucent?
I would say that the skin has a slight translucence to it.
All right. Let me see here. Okay, that's right. So yeah, it's via skin then.
yeah. Freya remembers you asking. So
Mm-hmm.
for right now, she's looking at the
Okay.
box and is now bypassing Various's hand, dumping the rest of the scales in, dumping the 142 blue chips in, the golden coins, the gemstones, and then is the tiny gold crown able to fit?
Yes, I say it fits.
Dumps that in there too. How about the bones?
I mean, depends on how you put them in.
Yeah, it would depend on how you put them in. If you try to put them in lengthwise, no. If you try to put them in the short
vertical?
and vertical, then yeah, they'll fit.
Okay, then yeah, chill. There's the bones, the scales,
And
the
as you're kind of,
gems, the money.
and the funny thing is, as you guys are watching this, you're expecting it to like hit the bottom of the jewelry box, but no, they just fall in and disappear beyond the blackness inside the box. Everything does.
We're getting that stuff back, right?
Yes, you're getting that stuff back.
By the way, Roast, here that you'll be interested in this, you might want to fold it up and just put it somewhere, and she'll hand over the serpent skin to him. She'll put in her backpack the worn leather bracers, and then, excuse me, Flix. Oh, Flix.
What? What do you want?
You like music, correct?
I am music.
Ah, then you
Glorious,
must be...
glorious music. I take out my lute and start playing.
She's going to grab the lute and hold the strings and be like, yes, but Rodrigo Rodriguez can't use the same instrument as you. What about this beautiful lyre? And she will hold the jade lyre out.
And as you hold the jade lyre up, it
Take
does
it
have
gently.
it has a almost gems. It's almost as if the lyre itself is made out of jade gemstone, like the entire body of it, while the strings themselves have a silvery gleam to them.
I take the lyre and say, "You had me at beautiful."
Mhm.
Of
It
course.
is a very gorgeous lyre. And
And now I'm gonna add a
surprisingly
little bit of
lightweight.
the of the sparkle glitter from my Book of Unending Glitter.
Okay.
To top it off.
Okay.
She just watches him dump glitter on the brand new lyre and is like, it was shiny. Okay, whatever. She is going to pocket the leather bracers, the little black cube, and probably the raw meat.
Okay.
And the mermains and the half-digested fish. Nobody looks at it funny. Just kick it back. Just kick it back in the water.
Yeah.
Okay, so that should be everything. We should continue.
Various clips the jewelry box closed and slips it back into his pack.
Oh, well, that would definitely be helpful.
And it is slightly mirror-esque. It's more see-through than anything, but you can still kind of see vague reflections off of the sheen of it.
The best we could probably do is get something dark to back it, and then it would probably have a better reflectivity, but we really might not have the time to be playing arts and crafts right now. It knows we're here. We should definitely be heading farther.
Various sort of watches this, and their ears sort of droop a little bit, but well, are we moving on?
I'm satisfied. Shall we?
Yes, let's go. Mind
As you guys all approach, Pride will kind of look over at all of you and it's like, do you have your bearings? Everything ready? No doubt once we pass that threshold, we'll be living on borrowed time.
If we survive this, I would like some of that skin.
That's terrible out of context.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Aries wants to pound the flesh.
So we're all in agreement. I'm going to be perfectly honest with all of you. I don't have high hopes for what we're about to do. I hope you all understand that. So, if at all possible, stick together and try to keep focused.
We've survived that Enel character. I think we'll be perfectly fine with this thing as long as Glacia actually shows up when he says he's going to.
That is if we can even reach it before it gets us.
You said he'd appear as soon as we used it. Are you telling me that he's not going to do that? He's going to take his time and saunter down here?
I'm talking about reaching the damn thing first. You've
Oh,
seen
we
what it's
might.
already tried to do.
So are you suggesting we turn tail and head back to the surface?
I'm suggesting we stick together and go as fast as possible.
Ah, good.
That means he grabs you, Tibbs, as you run past.
Ah!
That means no running ahead.
Well, which one is it? Do you want us to go quickly or do you want us to be quiet? You can't have both.
Yes, you can. I know by experience. But what I'm saying, Tiberius, is none of this running ahead. It will get you killed. Do you want to die into this thing?
Well, I plan on living forever, so no.
Then stick with everyone, please.
Very well. Then shall you lead?
You'll actually look back to all the rest of you and look to Belua. I will. But more importantly, I would prefer to have someone with me as well. Various, would Belua be willing to help lead the charge?
I do believe so.
I felt it
Yes.
fitting to ask.
The great big thing squeezes past
Mhm.
and looks
And-
down at Tibbs.
Tim's just gonna smile back up.
Pride will gently release Tibbs. So let me make sure. Okay, so I'm going to need a 2 by about 2 by 3 marching order. Who is going? We're gonna have Belua in front with Pride. Who is going to be behind them, and who's going to be behind those people, and who will be leading the back?
I will take the second position.
Okay.
Grace
and
is
who will
going
you
to
be
take the
behind?
second.
Mhm.
Grace will be right behind Rose.
1 second. Flix is dealing with child
I'm eating the
aggro.
rest of these.
Okay, fine.
You ate all of them.
I won't touch him.
There was a whole bowl full.
The M&Ms are yours. Ow! I have a bigger mouth than you. What do you want?
Yeah, I know you got a bigger mouth than me. You know my goddamn M&Ms.
Okay.
You're alive.
Okay, Rose, who are you going to be going behind? Are you going behind Pride, or are you going behind Belua?
I will be behind Pride.
And Frias, you're going to be behind Rose?
Yes.
Okay. Now we need a few people to go behind Belua, who will take those positions.
Oh,
Jibs will go behind Belua. It's easy.
Okay.
And Various will go behind either Flix or Tibbs. Or
Alright.
they'll take the back.
Oh, they'll take the back. Okay, so Flix will be behind Tibbs, Various will be in back. You begin to descend the stairs into the darker depths of the sewers. The light is almost non-existent down here. Rose is pretty much your only candle in the darkness. More importantly, it is deathly silent down here, and there's a strong sense on your shoulders that something is weighing you down here. You have entered the lair of the False Hydra.
we're all at the top, by the way, just to...
We're all at the top.
Also, I'm imagining Flix playing the stuff from The Emperor's New Groove when Kronk is sneaking.
I gotta turn that sound. The walls are laden with mildew and rust. Upon further inspection, several beams that are holding up this rather decrepit-looking hall are made of metal, or at least some form of metal. The floor itself is made from a thick, porous rock, similar to concrete, but seems to have several bits of water damage as there's several cracks forming along the ground as you progress further. As I said before, there's little to no light down here. You can only see about 5 feet in front of you. This will be a skill challenge, meaning that there will be initiative regardless of how far you move. There are a number of successes that will determine if you are able to find the False Hydra, as well as number of fails to where it will start to pick you off one by one. This is your warning. Now, pay in mind, clever thinking of the scenarios ahead will get you things like advantages on your rolls or re-rolls if your roll is terrible, as well as a special condition. If you come up with a clever decision or course of action, I will give you the chance to roll 4 times and take the highest. There is a lot of loot to be held here, a lot of places to explore, but you need to remember you're on borrowed time. I would like you all to roll for initiative to determine who will go first. Pay in mind we'll be using this initiative through the entire skill challenge. You have 3 objectives. Navigate the lair, find the False Hydra, contact Glacia, and then the final one is to get out alive. Your fate's in your hands now. I'll be rolling for Pride as well, because he will be participating.
Flix, you gotta click your token. You can edit it if you want, but you gotta click it and re-roll it.
Oh, well, that's good. That's real good. That's a good indication of how well this is gonna go.
Yeah, we just got the bad rolls out of the way at the beginning. That's how this thing works.
No! I don't like that roll.
Crit fails in a row.
Yeah, we're in a dark sewer. We're the ones that should use this stuff. Oh God, 3.
No,
Can I
Flix
get my
is...
16 back.
Yeah, you just go over your number and you can change it.
Oh, lordy. What was Flix's 16? I changed that?
Nova. It's been less than 30 minutes and there's already 3 crit fails.
This is
All
going
right.
to go so well. So everyone has a new character, right?
So, before we start, are there any questions on how this is going to work?
Let's just jump in and swim.
Because the skill challenges will come when you enter specific rooms.
Question: how many eyes does a False Hydra have?
Yes.
Good.
At the top of the round, you feel almost a suppressing, commanding aura fall over you. So I'd like you to all make me a wisdom save. Good. Okay. Okay. So 1, 2, 3 successes and 2 fails. Okay, so this actually counts as your first skill challenge. 3 of you succeeded, 2 failed. That means you automatically succeed since it was above a certain threshold. You all feel some sort of wave of energy fall over you, a commanding presence that is trying to tell you to go to sleep. However, Frius, Rose, and Flix, you guys begin to see Tiberius and Varius begin to falter and start to fall to the ground, but you're able to catch them in time and get and snap them awake. That is your first success. Remember, considering we are in initiative, you only have your movement that is available to your character on their single turns. So I need to get my list up for your successes.
Okay, I'm awake. Oh.
Grace was like, Various. Now's not the time.
I'm fine.
Okay. So the first up in the turn order is Flix. Currently, Tiberius and Belua are in front of you. You're allowed to pass through their hitboxes if you so desire. Pay in mind, you cannot see far.
Even with my dark vision?
Even with your dark vision, you can only see up to 10 feet in front of you. This is a different type of darkness.
6? Okay.
Mm.
I'm gonna go 1 more. 6.
Okay.
And I am going to use my turn to do performance.
All right.
To play the loudest music possible to keep the party awake.
All right. Go ahead and roll me a performance.
On my new lyre.
Everyone gets.
Where are you aiming that lyre?
Forward?
Okay.
Is there a way to aim it?
Yeah.
Oh no!
I don't know.
Did
So
you not see
forward?
the loot table?
Well, I
Flix
mean,
doesn't
it
know.
makes sense that Flix wouldn't know that.
Oh, Brace fucked up.
So go ahead and roll me a performance.
Also, I realize I need to give an initiative roll.
Oh yeah. Go
Forgot
ahead
that
and
that was-
go ahead and roll Belua's initiative. So let me right click this token and turn. Oh no, he's already on there. Okay, cool. So let me switch it again, and then go right back down to Flix again. Flix. Your performance is not bad. It's loud, definitely. It's ringing out the halls, considering the fact that this place is incredibly quiet, almost as if the air itself is still. But as you strum your fingers along the lute, you feel an energy released from these strings as a blast of wind shoots out in front of you, and you just see a bunch of the mildew and dust just erupt down the hall into a cloud.
Amazing. I take a quick moment to hug the lyre and then keep playing.
Alright. Can I unclick Belua? Thank you. Belua.
Bella was going to sort of watch this before sauntering forward and sticking close behind Flix. You see his wings are sort of mantled, like sort of protectively, and you hear a gruff sort of rumble from the great big eidolon behind you.
Don't worry, giant baby. I will protect you.
That is my turn. Or Bella was.
And now it's time for Freya's.
Reyes is, because they were at the same rate, will catch up to Flix, realize her error, but not wanting to. Well, they already figured it out.
Look at Freya. You're not getting it back.
She will turn around so her back is facing forward. She's facing the group, but she will open the mirror box to look ahead.
Mm-hmm. And what exactly are you looking at and looking for?
She is looking to see if she can see either any of the tendrils or hopefully not the Hydra itself this early.
As you look around with the box, you notice that there's something on the walls. It's not the tendrils, it's not holes or faces, but it's some sort of slime. It's almost a rusty red in color. You never noticed it there before, but it's almost as if it's slowly dripping down the walls, and as you look with the mirror down to the ground, you see that there's puddles of this stuff. Some puddles have different colorations, mind you. Most of it is a rusty red color, but others seem to be almost a black or a mixture of colors, as if oil is mixing in with some of them. Different colored oils.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
She looks for a few more seconds and then will relay this information back to the group. There's some sort of fluids or liquids coming from the walls. It's mixing all along the floor. It's not just red.
Is it blood?
The red definitely looks like blood. It all flows like blood, but there's different colors thrown in.
Well, we are in a place where people's blood isn't necessarily red.
Duly noted. And look at my spells, but I don't think I got anything. Ooh, I do have something. You know what? I am going to give us a... Oh, it already knows we're here.
Would you like to do anything else? Or would you like to continue looking around with the box? This will take your action.
Oh, if it takes my action, then yeah, just continue looking with the box.
Okay. At this revelation, Pride will begin to step forward, kind of slightly squeezing past you, Frias, to once again take front. And he'll step forward one more time. He does not have dark vision, so he can only see 5 feet in front. And you will see that he actually draws out his short bow and locks an arrow in, just in case, before looking back at all of you and then looking forward into the darkness. Tiberius.
Yes.
Turn.
Moving up
Tiberius,
alongside
you
Pride.
looking past this?
Mm-hmm. He's gonna use the thing.
Yes, he's going to use the thing.
Okay. And Tiberius, as you cast your magic, nothing immediately appears, of course, as you know the spell, but you get this feeling up above you. So while everyone else seems more occupied with Frias's revelation with the box, you kind of look up and see some sort of slithering mass on the ceiling, almost as if it's a shadow. It has no mass that you can tell, but whatever it is, it seems shapeless. And the longer you look at it, you notice that there is an eye, a singular eye, staring back at you, awaiting command.
Ah. He just nods and says, "Follow."
And the eye will close, as if affirming your order.
I have an hour of this, so best use it.
And that's your turn?
Yeah, I'm only going to move 6 because there's no way I'm being at the front. Tiberius is not not like that.
Rose.
Rose will at first turn back around to Various. Various, there may be something I can grant that will offer some measure of protection, worst comes to worst, against this Hydra. I just want to clear it with you quick. Would you think it'd be more prudent to have it on yourself or Belua?
Depends on how exactly this magic works. Though I think it might be more prudent to apply it to one of the others.
Mm-hmm. Fair.
I'm tougher than I look.
I understand. Rose will move forward and will reach forward, put a hand on the back of Frias' shoulder, and is going to cast Protection from Evil and Good.
Okay. Each time, one action, concentration, 10 minutes. Okay. Until the spell ends, one cooling creature you touch is protected against certain types of creatures' aberrations. Good. Protection grants several benefits. Creatures whose types have disadvantage on attack rolls. That's gonna help. Very nice.
Yeah, and if it matters, then the target also can't be charmed, frightened, or possessed by them.
Awesome.
Rose nods back and thanks in return, and will move forward to be right back in behind Pride then, and that will be their turn.
Okay. Various. You're up.
Various will take a moment and this is worth at least a try. And we'll start to weave his paws together and trying to cast some magic. He's gotten used to using magic as a last resort with all the wild magic we've been running into. And slowly his eyes brighten up and are a little bit of a lighter shade than usual. and is going to cast that.
Sounds good.
And is going to take a look around as he's stepping to keep up with the others.
Okay, cool. Make sure to keep note of that. Flix.
Yes. Back to me. Alright. What the hell does 5 even have again? I am going to take the lead again.
Okay.
And
Area.
probably look at using perception to try to suss out anything in the vicinity that could potentially be dangerous to us.
Mm-hmm. Where exactly are you looking? Because currently you are in a rather mildewy, rusty service hallway, essentially. And you have heard that apparently Frias is seeing something on the walls and on the ground, some sort of liquid.
Sort of liquid on the walls and ground?
But you can't see it. Only Frias seems to be able to see it, and they have the box open currently.
Did she say if it was all over?
What'd you say to it? Say about it?
I said it was all over the walls and pooling on the ground. A
Okay,
mixture of colors that all acted like blood.
I am going to take out my rapier then and have Frias point to me where on the wall it is and try to slash it to see if it makes a movement or not.
Yeah, you slice at the walls, and Frias, through it, you see that the blade cuts through the ooze. Kind of like any sort of liquid, but much like a slime or something that's been congealing, it kind of slowly drips back down over the cut.
So it doesn't jump back or anything, so it's just one full mass then.
No. And you can't see it. Frias
No.
can. It's
Yeah.
just, yeah. To Frias, it just looks like it's slime that's just pulling
Literally
down.
just interrupted a slow waterfall.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so I'm just going to, I guess... really peer down the hallway at this point, because we haven't seen any curves or anything like that.
Nope, so far it's been a case of the darkness seems so thick, almost magical in a way, that you've only been able to see at the very least 10 feet in front of you, and you just see more darkness ahead of you and similar looking tunnels. At least for now.
Does there look like there's any writing anywhere?
Let me see. Hold on. Let's do a random. Let's see what you find. Okay. Oh, interesting. Flix, as you're kind of looking along the wall, kind of running a hand along it, to you it feels dry. It feels like there's nothing there at all, much to Prius is probably horror. But eventually you kind of come across what looks to be something engraved in the side of the wall. And it's letters and an arrow that seem to point somewhere down the hall, at least from the looks of it, as you begin to kind of clear away some dust and stuff like that. It seems to point down and then curve to the left. And it says Black Market.
I'm going to repeat this back to Frias, because I know she normally has, like, paper and books and stuff like that to write with. And have her write it down the directions pretty much that we have them as we're continuing down the hallway.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I guess that'll be my turn for now.
All right. And now it's time for Belua.
Belua saunters forward, looking at Frius and looking over at Rose and sort of rumbling at them before squeezing past and moving up to be beside Flix and trying to think of if there's something that Belua could do, because Belua is not super smart, nor is Belua particularly magical. Oh, Belua's going to raise their nose to the air and take a deep whiff.
Okay. What is he kind of trying to smell out in particular?
If there is anything of particular interest that doesn't fit with like the mildew and the
Okay. All right.
dripping
So
water.
go ahead and just give me a flat 1d20 and we'll see what that gets you. We'll see what happens.
Okay, he does have scent.
Yeah. And scent is an advantage, right?
I believe so. Let's see. I detect opponents within 30 feet by sense of smell.
Okay.
If the opponent is upwind, the range increases.
Okay.
Strong sense can be detected at twice the normal range.
Okay.
Doesn't allow it to precisely locate.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
I say go ahead and roll me that at advantage then, considering what you're up against. Okay, and that's 1.
I think I'm gonna.
Yeah, we're gonna take that 19 there. As Belua kind of lifts his head to sniff around, you can smell not the mildew, not the rust, but bizarrely the scent, the faintest scent of rotting flesh. And I'd say with a roll of 19, he's able to sort of lock away that smell to be able to at least follow it to a degree.
You see the Eidolon grunt and snort before starting to look ready to keep moving in a purposeful direction.
And for the most part, it seems to mainly be coming to the south, of course, where you guys are heading. But the scent does have a stronger feel heading off to the side. Not so much straight ahead.
Got it. And that
Okay.
is Belua's turn.
All right, Frius, you're up. And you still have the box open?
Yep.
Okay. Nothing seems to be happening yet with the box. Just the same low, droning sound and the same images of strange red and multicolored slime in the mirror.
She's going to sigh, put the calling gem for Glacia into the box for now as she pulls out a book and writes down what Flix wants before putting the book away and then reaching here.
All right.
Though she's going to ask, I have a spell that'll make it harder for us to be detected, but we're already detected. Should I be wasting this skill now or keep it for healing?
All right. And Pride will respond to you and shake his head and it's like, no, save your power for when we have to escape if we're able to. We'll need everything at disposal to get away from that thing, because if we're able to locate it, and if Glacia is able to deal with it, we'll need to get out of here as fast as possible, considering what I know on how Glacia deals with problems. And it's not pretty or elegant in any shape or form.
Glad for the warning, and that will be her turn.
And Pride will kind of slide past Euphraeus and slide past Belua to about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here. And he's kind of keeping to the side of the wall itself, with the short bow still with the arrow knocked into it.
Versus just watching it all pour down them like, oh, these people are weird.
Yeah, you can see the ooze is getting all over everyone. Tiberius.
Tiberius is going to move up beside Pride, taking a deep breath, and cast the spell I sent you the message of. The idea is to be as, we'll say, right-angled as possible with that reflective skin.
Okay. Now before this happens, of course, the thing on the ceiling does move after you, almost like it's swimming along the stone and metal roof.
That's
it
fine.
continues to be perched above you.
fine.
But Pride does notice you do this, but doesn't say a word as you kind of turn around and begin to weave some form of magic into Belua. And Belua, you would notice that Tibbs is doing this. But before...
He's doing it to himself because it's alter self.
Oh, it's alter self?
Yeah.
But, okay, so Flix and Belua are in range, and so is Pride. So they kind of all see Tiberius. For some reason, his fur begins to take on a more chromatic sheen. Almost reflective in a way.
Smart.
Almost.
Oh.
That's really smart.
So
Someone
he
got
looks...
the metal backs.
So he almost looks like a metallic white rabbit. And Pride does kind of seem to look down at you, a little surprised at this.
What? We need more mirrors.
So you've become a mirror. That's quite smart, Mr. Tiberius.
It's okay. I'm not only good looks.
Is that your turn?
He has one more movement, so... Whoop.
Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and reveal. Do you have dark vision?
No.
Okay, so you can only see 5 feet in front of you.
Oh, we did.
Oh, do you guys? Double check your character sheets, because I want to make sure you get your full sight.
If we did, it's not on the sheet. We were underground varmints, so I'm not sure if that was part of it.
Can you take a look?
Yeah, give us a second to find out.
Yeah, all we have is the big bunny eyes, so I don't think we have any.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
We might rework that in the future. We'll see. But, Rose, it is now your turn.
Alright. Rose will move forward and squeeze through these three. And we'll get all the way up to here. Yeah, and Primarials do not have dark vision, correct?
They do not.
Alright.
But you do give off an aura of light, remember that.
Mm-hmm.
And that does extend your range of vision an extra 5 feet.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm not gonna see any further where I'm at right now anyways then.
Okay.
But yeah, Rose will just seeing that Tiberius has taken on a reflective hue, will chance a look to see if there's anything menacing that appears through Tiberius.
Ooh, very interesting. Okay. So, Rose, as you kind of look over Tiberius's new shiny, almost metallic kind of look, you do notice, at least on his shoulder, there is some sort of form or formless figure, not above you, but coming down the hallway to the south. It does vaguely resemble a tendril, but the moment you look at it, it seems to vanish.
Like looking, like if I bring my eyes up to look down the hall, then it vanishes, or vanishes off of Titta's reflection.
It vanishes off of Tibbs' reflection.
Rose will gesture forward to the south. There's something down there. And we'll relay this to the rest of the people behind them, and then that will be Rose's turn.
All right. Now, Various, you are falling a little behind, so watch out.
Yes. I'm trying.
I know.
Various is going to move up here.
Okay.
Now, does Various see anything?
I'd say you definitely see that Tiberius has taken on a metallic sheen. You notice that Pride is on alert as always. But from there, depends on where you're looking.
Probably down this way. Or down this way.
Okay.
And they have sea invisibility on.
All right, you do. How far does see invisibility? Does it base it off of your main vision? So
I do believe
distance?
so. I posted it. Yeah.
All
you see
right,
invisible
so
creatures and stuff.
how far is your vision, like in general? 60 feet?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me double check something.
They also see anything in the ethereal plane, but I don't think that matters here.
Okay, that actually does matter here. But, Various, you begin to kind of look forward, kind of squinting a little bit past Pride, and you see something is indeed lurking down further south, like directly south from you. It almost looks as if there's some sort of formless mass inside the hallway itself, not blocking it, but almost coming out of the walls.
Can I cast a spell? Can I cast a spell?
Do you want to? That is up to you.
There's something. Yeah, there's definitely something down there. I can attack it, but I can't tell what it is.
Well, there's nothing down here that we care about, is there?
Various slowly looks at Tibbs.
What? It's true. Go ahead, give it a warning shot before you attack it. Perhaps it'll be like, no, please, don't attack me. Or it'll try and eat you.
Various is gonna look to the others.
What does everyone else have to say?
Grace can't see anything. She's behind Belua, so she has no opinion.
Well,
You can still hear him. You can
yeah,
still hear
Various
Various.
described what he was seeing and asked, should I attack it?
Grace
her.
is out of this conversation. She's pretending she isn't a part of it.
Take your best shot.
Yes, pretend that it's me, like that time that you almost killed me with that lightning bolt. I can assist you if you will.
Oh, hush. And he's gonna let loose with a single magic missile, but specifically to the side of it rather than actually hitting it.
So you're trying to more illuminate the area with the magic, essentially? Or are you trying to scare it?
It's
Like,
a
what are you
happy
trying to
side
do?
effect, but it's also a warning shot.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you're able to kind of move a little bit past Pride and fire off a singular magic missile, and it kind of soars like a pinpoint of light through this darkness down the hall, and it travels for quite some time. Like we're talking 60 or so feet, until it eventually passes some sort of mass that you can all, well, everyone that's not like behind Belua and stuff like that can see. And for a brief flash of a second, you see that it has a white sort of almost translucent skin, and you can't see exact details, but whatever it is, it was almost as if it was reaching across the hallway and passing between the walls. But as the magic missile flies past, you see this limb or tendril retract into the opposite wall and back into it, vanishing.
Is you? You said fire a warning shot, Tiberius.
And then I told you to pretend like it was me. You've never missed me. I also said everything down here we don't like, or at least they're not our friends. So if you were to hit it and it would be angry, you could be like, oh, sorry, darkness.
I protect the darkness.
And that is my turn.
All right. As this the light from the magic missile begins to fade, there's some sort of oppressive feeling beginning to claw its way around you in the halls itself. I would like you all to make wisdom saves, please.
Oh no.
This includes pride.
Does Belua need to make a wisdom save?
Yes.
That's...
Oh! Oh God!
Christ.
No!
Here's Belua.
I'm going to invoke my lucky. Yay.
Not great! Oh lordy. So one. You had one success, and the rest failures. This is a failed.
Wait, even I failed?
Count. Wait. Okay, so nope. You failed. You failed, Frias.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Belua met it.
Jesus.
You begin to see the walls itself around you begin to almost move, pulse even, as they seem to be constricting on themselves, as if the walls themselves are convulsing around you. Belua, you don't see this. In fact, nothing seems to have changed, but all around everyone else, it's almost as if the walls are beginning to pulse and quiver and begin to open up, almost as if something's pulling open holes. And Frias, through the box, you see that there's hands beginning to come out of those holes and reach toward everyone around you. And you all see this except for Belua. What do you do?
Phrase is going to obviously say, "Wall, the hands from the walls, hand from the walls," and she's going to try to stay in the middle.
Okay.
Oh, am I gonna do? Yeah, there we go. Screw your grid.
I tried to reposition the grid exactly to where I wanted it to, but it was not having it.
No, the heck with your grid.
But I need you all to do something in this. So what are you all uniquely going to do with this? Frias is getting to the center. Whatever is everyone else going to do?
What is Belua seeing specifically?
He sees nothing, actually.
So it's an illusion?
Perhaps. It might very well be an illusion.
Tiberius is going to try and give it a nice old blast of mental go away.
Okay. What are you aiming it at exactly?
The walls, because this is not good. He's
Okay.
he's pretty much focusing all of that anger he has for a certain individual at the walls.
And how does this look exactly? Like, how does the spell look?
It's probably electricity that forms up between the ears and fires a little blast and then psychically hits them.
Okay. And for Tiberius, that does happen, and he fires it, and it hits the wall, but nothing happens. It's not stopping. In fact, the holes are opening wider, and Frias, you can see the hands are now beginning to start to grab at people, including Tiberius. And they're the same fleshy white color, translucent with pulsing veins underneath them, just like you remember being described in the book what the False Hydra looks like. And they look very humanoid.
I have another question.
Yes.
Can Bellua force Various to see what they're seeing?
I would say if Various is able to concentrate to be able to do that link that him and Bellua can do, then yes.
This is...
So is the question is, how is Various reacting to this then?
Various is very freaked out.
Okay. So if you want to try to mind link with Bellua, I would say give me another wisdom save if he's able to focus. And I say you are kind of shaking your head and trying to at least connect with Bellua, because you notice that he's extremely calm, surprisingly, while everyone else is freaking out. And seeing through his eyes, you see exactly what he sees. There's nothing at all there. The walls are just walls.
Rose. Everyone. I think this is a illusion?
Someone's echoing. There we go.
Oh.
Studying because I do. And Pride does take a moment to consider your words, Various. He had been ready to almost cut into one of the hands with his dagger, but then he pauses for a moment. And let me do a random. Damn it, Pride, why did you do this? He goes ahead and tries to stab one of the hands, regardless of your words. And the dagger just goes through it, as if nothing was there. And he's stunned for a few seconds, like, what?
I don't think it's real.
Blood and all looks real.
Yes, but do you actually feel anything?
Other than dread?
And indeed, the hands that are grabbing you guys, you don't feel anything. And in fact, it doesn't even seem to be able to move clothing.
So one way to find out. Rose is going to brace themselves and will actually try to grab one of the hands to shock and grasp it.
And I'm not going to have you expend a spell slot for this. But as you reach out to try to grab that hand, it vanishes in front of you. In fact, as Rose does this, it's almost as if in conjunction with Tiberius' own blast and stuff like that, and everything kind of going off in a domino effect. But that very last shocking grasp, you reach forward, you grab the hand that was trying to grab onto you, and it vanishes into a puff of smoke. And the hallway returns to normal.
Well, when you're right, you're right.
And
It wasn't me who saw it. We need to keep moving.
It is now Flix's turn.
Okay. I am going to take out my handy book of unending glitter.
No.
Also, I'd like to point out the comment in chat. I'm not gonna lie, I would have given it a high five. That's good.
And I am going to proceed to cover the entire party in glitter.
Oh my god. Oh no.
Oh, my eyes.
Why?
Really
So,
necessary.
so some
Yes.
context for some of the people that don't know about Flix's book. A few sessions back, he had found a book that taught him not only the spell Shatter, but was enchanted to be a never-ending fountain of glitter.
Best thing ever. Best thing ever.
And
Okay.
everyone's
And
covered
then-
in glitter now. Great.
I'm not done yet.
Oh
and
no.
then, because apparently mirrors are a thing, I'm turning everybody into a disco ball. I'm casting dancing lights.
Oh. Okay. So I'm
Mirror
imagining.
this hallway.
So I'm almost imagining that the glitter is reflecting all this light, kind of turning everyone into slightly, kind of like a disco ball beacon.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I would say, because of that, you have a 5-foot increased range of vision.
Also, would we maybe be able to see shadows?
Yes, I would say. For that clever little bit of combination there, I would say yes.
And I can also move the dancing lights down the hallway too, if I so choose.
Mm-hmm. And you get a total of four of them. Very interesting. Very clever, I'd say, too. But, Flix, as you kind of let out this barrage of glitter and fancy spell work, you begin to step forward, thinking you've got this, and then all of a sudden you come to a fork in the road. There's one particular path that leads straight ahead, and the other one that, at least from your perspective, veers off to the right, but you're pretty sure that the little sign that you found earlier meant that this was the corridor to head down toward the black market.
I'm gonna wave the party on and be like, this looks like the way to the black market.
Why would we want to go there?
Because the writing on the wall told us to.
So you follow any writing written on a wall?
This is a wall in a place where there's a Hydra that can eat us.
That just made the walls have hands. You think it wouldn't just scrawl letters on the wall to make it go into a trap?
It's not that smart.
I'm not forced to agree with her. Like, God damn it.
I want to give Flix a hug. Is that a free action?
That's a free action, yeah. Oh, that's funny. Is that your turn, Flex, or do you want to move forward further?
I moved just as I can.
Okay.
So yes, I'm done.
Alright. Belua, you are covered in glitter now. I'm so sorry.
Belua has
We're
the
not
look
sorry.
of Belua has the look of a sad basset hound.
Oh!
Big stupid dog.
But he lumbers forward and lumbers past Flix towards the fork in the road, or I guess passages, and looks down this hallway, taking a deep sniff.
And remembering the scent from earlier, Belua, the scent of rotten flesh is definitely stronger down this path than it is the other. Whenever we give it to. Okay, to be fair, maybe I'm a little sorry. Not completely, just a little tiny bit. It's just a matter of whose hands it's in. That is out of my control.
But Belua lets out a deep, rumbling growl. Meat. Rot.
And you all kind of hear Belua let out this deep, rumbling growl as he seems to be motioning toward the hall.
That is Belua's turn.
All right. Freya, are you keeping the box open?
Well, for right now, she is trying to shake some of the glitter off and possibly trying to get the glitter out of the box now.
It's everywhere. It's useless.
We
It's
give it
useless.
back to the elder.
It's
God,
like,
is
oh,
that just
Yaga's
like
going to. She's like trying to wipe off the glass, trying to get off the little spinning ballerina in there or whatever is making the music.
Yog's just like, what is this?
Yeah, it's not coming off.
Can she at least still see in the mirror?
Yeah, you can, but it's of course now glitterified. It's like one of those Lisa Frank mirrors where it's just half glitter, half mirror now.
Oh, it's a kaleidoscope mirror now.
Yeah.
Lucy in the sewers with diamonds.
Flicks in the sewer with glitter.
Is it true that that was supposed to be about LSD?
No, that's a misconception.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Freyas is going to just pop up here and continue looking in the mirror.
As you continue to keep the music box open, you notice that you and your friend's shadows are growing longer.
Oh no.
Is that your turn?
I'm quickly reading Protection from Good and Evil.
It doesn't save you from Tiberius.
There's a reason I put that on the current tactician in our party.
Who needs tactics?
So, weird question.
Yes.
Is opening and closing the box an action?
I would say it would be classified as a free action, kind of like talking.
Alright, she will close the box, wait.
And as you close the box, the shadows return to normal.
Oh, even outside of the box's vision. Oh, no.
Yeah, you saw that was normal. That was outside of the box vision. That was something else.
She sighs before flipping the box open again and looking down the hall again.
Where are you aiming the box at?
Where's my ruler tool?
Down there?
Just down this way, because that's where Flick said to go. And can't really see around that corner too well anyway.
As of right now, you don't see anything more.
Noted. And that's it.
Alright. And now it's Pride's turn, and Pride will kind of look at Flix as he moves past. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But then he'll also look up at Belluel while kind of trying to shake his head and get rid of some of the glitter. Some of it falls off, but he can't escape it either. And he'll briefly look up at Belluel and be like, well, you seem to have caught something. Are we going down that hall or the other hall?
Meat.
Neat. Well, I suppose it's
Hydra.
Well, our objective is to find it. That may be a good lead, so I'll follow your lead. And he'll step next to Belua. Tiberius! You're covered in glitter.
At least I'm metallic or chrome, and it'll easily fall off with prestidigitation. That's what I'm going to tell myself. It's fine. It's great.
It's fine. It's perfectly fine. Okay. And since you have the disco ball effect going on, you can see about 5 feet further.
System is down.
That's what we're calling it from now on, the disco ball effect.
Makes sense.
Disco ball cantrip. You and 5 members of your party have become the life of the party.
Considering who my patron is, I don't want to use that to light things up because that would be the opposite of light at this point. Tiberius is going to look at his little friend and say, "Go check."
And where will you motion to?
Down the hallway. It can only
Which-
go 60 feet, so it's the equivalent of seeing if there's a pathway. The equivalent of
Which pathway?
down this way.
Down there. So from you, and you see its eye open, and then close as it slithers and vanishes into the darkness. Tiberius, on the other hand, we're going to do a little something special with this unseen servant with you.
Oh,
As it
oh crap.
moves,
Oh no.
you feel your vision go with it. So, for a moment, your eyes are blackened by the darkness, and you feel as if you're pulled forward, but you're not actually moving. You see dim lights, as if the darkness is just slightly lit up. But you see up ahead, to a point that there is a four-way crossroad up ahead of you. There seems to be a dead end to the north, a hallway leading down to the south, but up ahead seems to be a slightly more well-lit chamber. And your servant remains there, as does your vision.
Oh, good.
What would you like to do?
Brace myself on the wall if I can feel for it.
And you can indeed feel the wall.
Oh, good. He's gonna wait until people catch up because he doesn't want to play his hand too soon. Yeah, he's gonna just lean on the wall, being like, "Okay, this is bad."
Rose, you're up. The glitter does burn off at least the flame bits of your hair. The rest of them are kind of sitting there smoldering, crackling, and probably giving off a little bit more extra light because it is now glitter that is on fire. So that's even better, right?
Yeah, I imagine that it's essentially Rose like wearing a like one of those like reflective fire retardant suits.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's just the intensity that you're getting off of the reflection from the light then.
Spicy glitter pops. So yeah, it's like a bunch of pop rocks are going off on you. I like that. That's funny.
Rose is going to move forward next to Belua then, and seeing that they, Pride, and Tiberius are here then. Alright, so where are we figuring where to go from here?
And, hearing this, Pride will look back to Rose. It's like, it seems Belua is, or at least seems to have sniffed something out, heading in the direction that Tiberius seems to be walking in.
Rotten.
Yes, something about meat. Which would make sense considering what this thing eats.
Mm-hmm. I would say they...
Okay. Go ahead, sorry about that.
No, that's all right. But yeah, Rose will nod back to Pride, and then we'll say, "That's an astute point. We'll follow their lead then." Since they're looking in that direction, Rose is just to be safe is going to concentrate towards the south just to see if they can discern anything moving still in that direction, or if there's any sounds coming from that way.
Go ahead and give me a perception then.
Alright, well, first of all, gonna stick that on
Okay.
there. That's an 11?
Oh no! You don't hear anything in particular. Perhaps you hear the brief sounds of shuffling, but it could have been any one of your allies.
It's like any ghost hunting show.
What was that noise?
Hey, you demons, it's me, your boy.
I All right, listen here, Mary Winters. We're coming to take photos.
But yeah, you hear some shuffling, but it could also be just from the people around you.
Alright, that will be my turn then.
Okay. Darius! I still feel bad for that Nat 1 boy.
Yeah.
Tiberius has had worse. He's rolled friendship with Tiberius.
Various is going to hurry up to catch up with the group. He's gonna move there, but is also. Do they see anything, perhaps, with that spell because it lasts an hour?
Yeah. Which way are you looking?
He's gonna look down this way and.
Looking down this way, you don't see anything in particular, but for some reason, you can swear that you see some sort of shadowy mass on the ceiling of all things. That's peculiar. But for a moment, you kind of wonder what that is, but as you turn your eyes over here, because you know you saw something over here before, something's down there. There's some sort of mass down here, and it seems to be getting closer. It's almost as if it's shuffling towards you.
I think we may have company.
Is that your turn?
He's going to tug at Rose's sleeve, looking up at them.
Just focus on filling others. I'll think of something.
I can take care of it if you need me to.
Oh, it's like Pride said, Sir, I still have some reserves left. You need to save what you got.
Also, be careful heading down that way. There's something on the ceiling.
Oh, good. Great. Fantastic.
Tiberius, you may want to back up here.
No, it's fine. It's probably more of that ooze. We're fine. We're good. Just keep moving forward. I think I see something this way.
Can I insight that?
Sure!
Since
Do you want to be deceptive, Tibbs?
Is that an honest question, Tiberius?
Yes.
Do you want to be deceptive?
So deception
please-
versus insight.
the
Oh
reason
God! Oh sweet Jesus!
Oh no!
the reason that I want to insight that is because you talked about how Tiberius is sort of reaching out for the wall, and
He's kind of leaning
that okay?
against it. Yeah, go ahead. Do it. I say do it.
What?
Tiberius's luck continues.
Why?
Tiberius is not lucky in game. Tiberius is lucky when people try to call him on his bullshit.
What have I done to anger the dice god?
Yeah, he seems genuine. He seems like he knows what he's doing.
This is not the first night that it's been doing this. Last night's D&D, this was happening.
Yeah, it was pretty egregious last night.
But yeah, he seems genuine there, Various. He's totally not clutching the wall because he can't see anything. He's totally being genuine. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my god.
How many times did a stealth roll last night end in a crit fail?
Twice. Twice, and one was a very bad, but was in a crit fail.
It keeps happening. As Pumpkin says. Yeah, it keeps happening. But is that your turn?
I blame
Yes, that's
Felix.
my turn.
Oh lordy. So the shuffling you heard, Rose, And the strange thing that you can see coming down the hallway is starting to become clearer. And it's a massive wall of pulsing white flesh, as if it's squeezing through the halls at you. But more importantly, as it begins to enter your range of view, several pores seem to begin to rise up from it and shoot down the hallway like spikes. I need Frius, Flix, Belua, Rose, Various, and Pride to all make dex saves.
That's a shame.
Oh.
Fellows.
Good. Okay. Great! That is 4 successes and 1 fail.
One second.
There we go. 4 successes and 2 fails. So you succeed the skill challenge. More importantly, Pride, Flix, Rose, you see all this coming, so you're able to sort of begin to duck into the same hall that Tiberius is in. Pride, seeing this first, grabs you, Various, and pulls you into the hall. Everyone else, you all dart into the side hall as the tendrils shoot past you. You successfully complete another skill challenge.
Wait, does Tiberius see this through the other eyes or not? Because he has to make a quip if he sees this. If he doesn't see it,
He does
Damn
not
it.
see. You still see through the eyes of your thing.
damn it! Tiberius stays quiet.
No, but you do feel motion around you as people are pushing past you.
Oh, I have to roll this. This.
Switching positions.
Careful
What do
now.
you mean? Tiberius can obviously see this all.
Obviously, see
Obviously.
everything.
Careful now. I'm still here. Don't shove.
And you all kind of look behind you and see that these spike-like tendrils begin to slowly recede back into that hall,
Oh no, it's spearfishing.
and then you hear nothing. Spearfishing, nice. Flix! You almost got skewered. Almost.
It's
You two,
happened a lot to me.
That has happened a lot to you.
I mean,
Jeez
I was
Louise.
shot the other day, not by my own fault.
At least it
you were
wasn't.
shot today.
Oh yeah, you were shot today because it hasn't been a
I
new
was
day
shot today, not by my own fault,
yet. In the foot.
in the foot, which was painful, and I was not appreciative of it
At least it wasn't a brick wall.
this time.
The teeth
That
are
wall will
intact.
come up and just you wait.
It wasn't a brick wall, and your pants are still up, so that's a plus.
You know what? Nobody breaks my own teeth but me. A wall will pay for its insolence.
But,
So what's in this room that we're in now?
it's another hallway.
Oh, come on!
It's a larger hallway.
Oh, this is boring and taking too long.
Don't death.
I know, but now I'm bored. With Fae, we dodge death all the time. Mainly from other people trying to kill us because we're Fae.
I'm trying to understand why.
Oh, what the hell am I gonna do now? What do I care to do? Since I'm carrying the party,
What?
Oh!
I will.
Come on, party carrier.
Where's Tibbs?
Fine.
He is currently grasping the wall as if he can't see.
He's perfectly fine.
Yeah, he can totally see.
Oh, totally see, yeah.
Huh.
He's totally just wildly grasping the wall because he's totally surprised. Yeah, it's fine.
Huh.
Also, this is all out of character yet.
Tibbs has no idea what you're doing.
Mm-mm.
What can I do? What can I do? Since we're all glittered up,
Mm-hmm.
I am going to use this time to attempt to lull the beast to sleep.
How would you like to try to do that?
By playing the most epic of songs on my brand new lute.
Where are
Mary
you
had a little
aiming
lamb.
that? Oh no!
Down
Where
the
are you
hallway!
aiming? Which hallway? And down
The
where?
one that I'm in? Yeah, that one.
That way? Sure, give me a performance. Why not? Okay. Flix, once again, the exact same magic seems to go off as a gust of wind pushes forward down the hall. It kind of clips Belua a little bit. He kind of gets his fur a little ruffled up a little. But he's a little
does
too
that?
large to kind of move because he's a big boy. He's a large boy. But for a moment, it's almost as if the oppressive atmosphere that's around you stops, but only for a little while.
I'm the best.
So I will say, because you had a pretty good performance there, and because it's clever, the Hydra cannot take its turn next turn.
Woohoo! That's right. That's right. Take that, you stupid beast.
Is that all you're gonna do? Are you gonna move forward, or
Yeah, I'll move forward as well, just to make sure
Okay.
that.
yeah? So you have 3 because of your disco ball. You have a now 15-foot sight.
Joy.
I can no longer see the entrance of the dungeon, guys. We're on our way.
Yay!
And then I scroll down and see just how much blackness awaits us.
Yes.
The empty abyss.
Hey, at least there's. To be fair, okay, this is a little DM meta knowledge. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rooms. Oh, 5. Oh no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 rooms.
Okay. I am done my turn for now.
Your turn? Okay. It's Belua's turn.
Belua's Belua's fur is ruffled where the wind got him, and he snorts before starting to take leave. 1, 4, 5, 6.
Okay. Whoops. I need that one. Boop. And Belua, you start to see that the paths are now actually branching off. In fact, you can swear you could see a little further in here as there is a light ahead of you. Dim light, but there is light ahead of you.
And they smell anything.
I'd say that the scent of flesh is actually coming now from the south, but ahead seems to have the scent of, you know, that old moldy paper money smell? That's coming from here. Yeah, chat knows what's up. It's a disgusting smell.
Belua lets out another deep, rumbling growl. Left, meat. Forward, light.
Mhm.
And I'm really bad at growls, so I'm sorry, audience. I'm sorry.
Hey, it's fine. I'm terrible at voice acting, so who cares? Who cares? We're having fun, I think. Right? Yeah? We're having fun, right? Isn't this sense of existential dread? Nah.
This is fun.
For
I mean,
me.
I'm having fun. I don't know about you guys.
I'm having fun. Tiberius isn't.
Oh, I mean, Tiberius isn't, of course. You can't see. Oh, actually, speaking of Tiberius,
No.
You can actually see Belua now.
Oh, good.
Belly was sort of on edge, looking around, and occasionally glancing upwards and seeing if that stuff that
So you're
that
looking up.
Various mentioned is gonna fall.
So you're looking up.
Have you ever played Dark Souls 3?
Yeah.
Do you remember the things in the cathedral that
Yeah.
dropped on you?
Yeah.
I see you knows my inspiration.
Uh,
So are you looking up, Belua?
Occasionally. Though they really did believe when Tibbs was like it's just more ooze. Because
As you look up onto the ceiling, Belua, the first couple times you don't quite notice something, but the third time, there's an eyeball open and staring at you. The eye itself is black, but there is a single pinpoint light of a gold coloration. And Tiberius, you can see Belua's looking at you. You think it's looking at you.
Bollocks.
Now, Belua, you don't know what this
Belly
is.
was just gonna Belly was gonna stare, bristling.
So,
And that is my
you?
turn.
Okay. Freya, you just escaped getting skewered, and in fact, since you can kind of still see down the hall, I imagine you kind of look around the corner again to see if it's still there, or you can just keep moving on.
He'll take a quick peek, yeah.
And you kind of lean into the hall to kind of look over there, and it's gone. That fleshy mass is gone. But in particular on the ground, you notice that there is this disgusting clear ectoplasm.
Okay, Various, your friend decided to run off after their attack. There is a clear
Riddance.
liquid now, though. If you want an
And-
update on colors.
And you can see it without the box.
And it's just
Moves.
there.
I just want this to be over.
Now, Freyas heard the whole. Can Freyas insight Tiberius's? Oh no, the blob is fine or whatever.
Sure. If Tiberius wants to roll deception. Or is he being genuine because he knows it's harmless? Depends. God damn it. It's the same roll!
Woo!
No, he seems genuine. You can't really,
She can't even tell that he's. Besides the fact that she's like, wow, he's propping himself up on something else. That's suspicious.
yeah, no. Seems fine.
I'm
Perfectly
getting a
fine.
feel for the wall.
It's perfectly fine.
Well, you just lost some health then.
I love
She'll
it.
just say she'll just thinks everything's fine, not even think about it, and she'll move up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
It's
and
fine.
yeah, unfortunately Freyas couldn't put 1 and 1 together after that. So have fun being blind, idiot.
Mhm.
This is fine.
And that's besides looking down the hall and possibly seeing the thing on the ceiling if allowed.
Mhm. Are you looking up at the ceiling at the very least?
Both eyes and then box.
Okay. You don't see. Actually, with your eyes, you see there is something up there. Belua was staring at it. bristling even. And more importantly, you see a large singular eye staring back at Belua. And it's the exact same in the box. But in a brief moment, you notice that the eye closes and whatever it was vanishes from sight.
Maybe some sort of seeing device for the Hydra, or maybe just a bystander, but let's not walk directly under them. And that's her turn.
Hearing this, Pride will kind of look to the ceiling but sees nothing. And she'll kind of look back at Various first and says, "Are you alright?"
Are any of us all right?
I was more in
I am.
relation to. I was more in relation to that thing. It's a good thing I pulled you out of there.
I do appreciate that. I don't think it nicked me or anything like that.
Well, I have a feeling that we're not going that way, so let's continue moving forward. 1, 2, 3, 4. And he'll actually kind of only move forward a little bit and wait for you, Various. Tibbs!
Can I see?
Do you recall your servant back to you?
Yes.
Okay. Before we conclude Tiberius's turn, let's take our 15-minute break here so I can go eat some food and we'll be right back.